you to write down, what was that? Well, I wasted enough time. I mean, I figure somebody start complaining if I don't start talking about something. Oh, there's always one, believe you me. I really think we ought to do more than we're doing. You need to start clamp on your hand. You need to put some light. All right, write that down right quick. You're a loser. A couple wants to have 3 kids. What is the probability of having 2 boys and a girl? And then you need to write the sample space down. So you need to figure the sample space. Is this my plate? I get a half a plate. I can work with this. Lived in the desert for 8 months. I can work with this. Let me guess. You got to borrow a pen too? My phone was on silent. That's why I didn't get your text. I'm sorry. It was going off this morning, 8 o'clock class, and I just turned it off. So I'm silent. All kind of sick this morning. I'm sick. I'm sick. I got donuts. Now, when you're doing probability, just straight probability, you got 3 types of problems. I already showed you one. One type is called theoretical, or what I call Mayberry probability, meaning that if you're given a deck of cards then you count the number of face cards and or the number of aces or whatever, and you put that over 52. It's mathematical, meaning that you don't do any trial. You just pull it out of your head. You got 4 aces, and that's out of 52 cards, so your probability of pulling an ace is 4 out of 52. So that's one type of probability. The second type is the actual physical probability, and we did that the other day. I think a couple of y'all wasn't here because you were lazy. Anyway, physical probability is when you do 10, 15, 100, 500, 1,000 trials, and you calculate out of 57 times, you hit this, so that'd be 57%. So you actually calculate it, but you actually do the trial. And then there's the third type, which is basically called a sample space. Not Sunday school, but sample space. A sample space is kind of a, okay, we're not gonna have trials without having babies, okay? Some of us tried to, but after about 2, I don't want them more. At least together, I don't want 4 or 5 or 6. But you shouldn't have trials to make babies. All right? You should go along with the Mayberry probability. All right? Do it in your head. Okay? So that's what we're doing. We're going to make a sample space out of these guys. And that sample space is pretty much right there. Okay, the sample space for having three kids and 2, or the sample space for having 3 kids. And that is boy, 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 girl, boy, 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 girl, boy, girl, 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 boy, boy, girl, boy, girl, 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 boy, and girl, girl, girl. Now I can tell you right now, I have to really think about these. All right, some of y'all can just rattle them off, and that's good. But I have to sit there and I have to think, okay, boy, 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 then girl, boy, boy, and then boy, girl, boy, and then boy, boy, girl. I have to actually think about it. And some of you have to actually think about it. But that's called a sample space. That's where you don't do the trial, and you don't exactly have it in your head. You have to what? You have to create the sample space. Not like 52 cards. You know 52 cards. That's easy. But the sample space, you have to think. This is a very popular sample space. In other words, you might see it on the test. Okay? So make sure you know how to do it. Capiche? Now, how many are 2 girls and a boy? Or 2 boys and a girl? 3 out of how many? 8. And there's your probability. So make sure, as far as 5.1, the first part of 5.1, that you know how to do all 3. You know how to do die, or you know how to do a simple marble probability, or a card probability based on the deck, or the size, or how many marbles in their bag. All right, that's pretty simple. The second thing you ought to be able to do is understand how to calculate with a trial, just like you did the other day with the cards and the die. And then the third is to be able to create a sample space. And we just did that. Now, 4 kids would be larger or smaller? Be a larger sample space. And I don't even want to think about it. I get confused doing this one. Okay? I don't like these because I cannot, it just blows my mind thinking about boy, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy. It just drives me bananas. So I usually try to stay away from these. But I do give them. the problems that I've given you about a face card, about a die, about this, and then the next problem we're going to do is problems I choose for this. Okay? And there's the problem we're going to do. Okay? I'm going to erase. So I draw you a. Everybody needs to bring in and import a roulette table in their notes. Do that. That would be great. Great. So write down this problem. And just draw a roulette wheel. The reason I brought in a roulette wheel is some people don't know what a roulette wheel is. That's why I brought it in. Then we tell you. Do something for y'all. Well, I'm going to discuss that in just a second. There's supposed to be a double zero on the picture, but the reason I put it in the problem is if I give you a problem on the test, it's going to have zero and double zero. That's why I added it. So just imagine that there's a double zero on the roulette wheel. Yes, usually right beside it. Yes. Now, after you write the problem down, see if you can figure just A. No, I can erase it. So see if you can figure out where I got the numbers. Usually most of you can figure out the first one, but you don't understand the second part. My mother used to make donuts. Take some dough and throw it in grease. And then pour sugar and water. I mean, take sugar and water and it makes this. But she used to make them. What? Y'all seen that direct commercial, the Sizzlers? That was my family. You see my mom on the side of the road here? It will. You know what I do when I see a squirrel? Close my eyes. Because you will have a wreck if you try not to hit a squirrel. You're going to run into a post. my eyes. Right when my bumper gets over them and I can't see them, I close my eyes and oh yeah, put them in the crock pot. Tastes like chicken. Tastes like rabbit. Rabbit tastes like chicken. All right, so where did I get? First of all, you got to put this in context because remember when I told y'all that half of doing probability is reading? Well, this problem sets up a context. The roulette wheel has 38 slots, 1 through 36, and 2 zero slots, 0 and double zero. The context is right here. 0 and double zero are neither odd or even. Now when you see that, that means that you've only got one thing that's winning. Winning is even. Winning is success, right? Don't we combine those two words together? Winning and success, we combine those two words together. So losing and failure would be not even. And this is where students go, why don't you just say odd? Well, let's say that Miss McCollum works at Papa John's, okay? And she's working, and her job is basically putting pizzas together. She don't deliver. She don't run the cash register. All she does is put the pizzas together and cook them and put them in the oven. She don't even take them out. She lets somebody else do it. And she's sitting there, and every day she works from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And she's working on Friday night, and one of her friends calls her and says, I need to borrow your car. My car's broke down. And she says, sure. So they get a ride or walk or whatever up to Papa John's, and she gives them the keys to the car. And they return it at 11 o'clock or 9 o'clock or whatever, and nothing's thought of it. Gets the keys back and goes home and she goes to sleep. Next morning, there's a knock on the door. And Miss McCollum, being the bright-eyed and bushy-tailed morning person that she is, she's already up, and she answers the door and goes cheerfully, hello! And it's the police. And the police says, you need to come with us. And she's like, what happened? And what happened is, the previous night, there was a security guard murdered at the McDonald's or whatever because it was robbed and the security guard was shot dead. And you did it. And Miss McCollum says, I didn't do anything. I was at work last night. So another 2 or 3 hours later, they find out that Miss McCollum was at work. What are in the businesses now in the corners of the room? Camera. So look at the camera. The camera has her dated and timed from 5 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And she has eyewitnesses. She's got a what? Alibi. The motive. Yeah, she's got a motive. She's depressed. So tell me this. Is she guilty? Is she innocent? Or is she not guilty? She's innocent. Why? She wasn't there, but she was proven innocent, right? Because did she go on trial? No, she wanted to go to trial. Was O.J. innocent? He's not guilty. He wasn't found guilty. Why? What's the difference? He went to trial because he couldn't prove his innocence. Okay, that's the difference between innocent and not guilty. It's one of my favorite movies. Marissa Tomei. I love Marissa Tomei. Sandra Bullock and she plays it out. I'm talking about Marissa Tomei. She won an Oscar for this movie. What movie was it? My Cousin Vinny. She won an Oscar for it. And she did. She played it. Great part in that movie. I love her in that movie. Anyway, My Cousin Vinny. How many of you seen My Cousin Vinny? Okay. Y'all have been deprived. It's your parents' fault. Be somebody that complain on this stuff. Okay, My Cousin Vinny, what happens? The two guys, what happens in there? Karate Kid and the jerk guy, his friends, they stop by a convenience store and they buy groceries because they're traveling from New York to California, and they go through Alabama and they stop at this store, get their groceries, and go on down the road. But they're stopped. And they think they're getting stopped for shoplifting the unassuming. And they're not. They've been brought up for murder. Murder? Well, they didn't have any cameras back then. There wasn't anybody in the store. And they didn't have an alibi because they're just traveling from California to... So they could have been anywhere. They don't have anywhere that they can substantiate where they were. Did they go to trial? Yes. Because there's nothing to, and you're found not guilty. When you go to trial, it's either guilty or not guilty. It's not guilty, innocent, or not guilty. Innocent, you don't go to trial. Now, were they innocent? Yes, but there was nothing to confirm their innocence. And this is not law 101, but that's one of the first things they teach you in law, is what is the difference between guilty, not guilty, and innocent. A lot of innocent people go to trial because with more and more the technology that we have, less people go to trial because of what? Cameras. You seen that commercial where they're selling the camera that goes in the dashboard? Why? Because people are tired of being taken advantage of, and they've got cameras in. People put cameras in their houses now, in the babysitter store. What's it called? Nanny cam? Because people want that, and the nannies usually don't care because they want to verify their innocence. If it's documented, if you've got something documenting where you were during a crime, then you're considered innocent and you don't go to trial. But if you can't substantiate your innocence, then you have to go to trial when it's guilty or not guilty. In this problem where it says 0 and double 0 are neither odd or even, at that point the question goes from odd or even to even and what? Not even. That's right. That's how I tell you a story. Now your homework is to go home and watch My Cousin Vinny. I can't believe y'all have not watched that movie. I know. It's 3 out of 12. No, it's terrible. Y'all are deprived. No, you gotta watch the movie. It's funny. My biological clock is ticking like this. I'm never getting married. Well, anyway, so what's the probability of even? 18. How did I get 18? Even numbers 1 through 36 is half of those numbers. 36 divided by 2 is what? I thought it was 18. 36, not 38, 36. See, that's what people do. They take 38 divided by 2. 36 divided by 2. Okay? And that's 18. Now, how many slots are on the whole daggum wheel? 38. So it goes on the bottom. So here, are you using Mayberry probability or are you using trial, physical Mayberry? It's all based on, there's not even a roulette table in this room, and I'm doing the probability. So I'm doing it in my head, I'm using the theoretical probability. Losing would be not even. And not even is 18 plus what? Plus 2, which is 20, or the complement of 18 is 38. The complement. What is the complement? You need to write the complement down because that is a test question. Now, when I tell you complement, when I ask you to give me the definition of complement, I'm going to get two definitions. What are y'all going to tell me? What's the definition of complement? So if you're not going to give me the mathematical definition, you're going to give me the everyday definition. What are they? It's something nice you say about somebody, yes? What's the other one? Good. I'm very impressed. A lot of people don't even know that. Hand in hand, what'd you say, Mr. Lancaster? Yeah, pretty much. I usually think of what's behind every good man. A good woman. A woman does what to a man? It doesn't go the other way around that way. Sorry. Guys do not compliment women. It's women compliment men. Because usually the man screws up most of the time and the woman fixes it. Period. And if you're one of these, man, I don't screw up, you're stupid. Okay? When you get 40, you're going to realize how stupid you are if you think that way. Alright? Now, put all that aside and put you look nice aside and all that. There's a mathematical definition, and Ms. Lancaster hit it, and Ms. McCollum hit it, is what makes up the whole. And I always think about this, I don't know why, but to this day, I can tell you what 65 from 100 is just like that. And a lot of people say, well, you should, no, before I become a math teacher. Why? Because for 3 years at Southwood Middle School, lunch was $1, and you got 35 cents. Lunch was 65 cents. And my mom and dad would give me $1, and I would get 35 cents back every day. And it stuck in my mind. So some of y'all have things stuck in your mind. But to this day, I always use that as an example of a compliment. What makes up $1? 100 cents, right? $1. So 65 is taken away, 35 is a compliment of 65. Always think of that as a compliment. Complement of true is what? Proper. The complement of 0 is 1 in a binary system. The complement of yes is no. Complement of black is white. Complement of white is black. Okay? It's amazing that could be used together, black and white. We're supposed to be divisive of black and white, not together on black and white. Anyway, non-white and non-black colors. Okay? Now, the complement of winning, or the probability of even, is 20 out of 38, where the actual event is 18. So the complement would be 20, because it makes up the whole, which is the whole root of 8. So everybody needs to understand that the complement is what makes up the whole. What makes up the whole. The reason I'm writing with my mouth and I'm doing all this on here is when I get up there, I get too fast. Trying to slow it down even though the notes was worse. But what makes up the whole? One of my calculus students told me I should write up here on the mouse. That way it gives them time to write. Like when I get on the board, they can't keep up. What makes the whole? Is that true? Okay, well then I'll get back on the board and I'll go faster. Anything to be true. All right. Now, does everybody understand these two? Now, what are the odds against? Well, odds against a little A here. No, yeah. There's still no, you do get it, yes, but it's not the same. You don't win the same money. In other words, if you bet on 1 through 36, or you bet even 1 through 36, and you hit an even, then you get $5 back. But if you hit a 0 or double 0, you might get $10 back. It's a different bet. You'll get money back, but you're not going to get the same. Right now we're basing it off the numbers 1 through 36. the ball has to fall on 1 through 36. If you don't, if the ball falls on 0 and double zero, you're not going to get any money back because it's not a number. That'll be a number. All right. Now, what if you bet on 0 or double zero? If you bet $5 and hit 0 or double zero, the odds against are going to go up. The probability is going to go what? Down, because you only got 2 slots. Therefore, you're going to win a whole lot of money if it falls on 0. It just makes the game more, it gives the game, right now you can get 4 games. You do odd, you can do even, you can do black, you can do red, or you can do a single number. Okay, there's the 5 games. When you put 0 and double zero in there, you got 3 or 4 more games you can play with one roulette table. It's kind of like a deck of cards. You can play blackjack, or you can play what? Poker. It's kind of like that. You get more games out of the roulette wheel if you add some different pegs to it. And that's why. But when you bet on even, nobody's holding your hand and telling you you have to bet even. You can walk up and say, because they're asking you for the even. The winning is even. Okay? The winning is even. So they have to be included in the not winning. That's why you have to think. And I get your question. That's why. Now, the odds against is equal to the probability of failure. The probability of failure over the probability of what? There you go. Now, I would leave your probabilities in fraction form, and you'll see why in just a minute. So go ahead and plug and chug. Put the probability against, or the probability of failure, over the probability of success. And see what you come up with. This end of the 9 is driving me bananas. So what is that? Probability of failure is what? 20 over 18. I'm sorry, 20 over 38. I have to be right and making 50 steps. Failure. And the success is 18. And how do you divide by fraction? You multiply by the what? Nope. That's adding and subtracting. Multiplying, you multiply or divide by multiplying by the what? Reciprocal. And what happens to the 28 or 38? The 38 do what? They cancel, and you're left with 20 over 18, which is your odds against winning. Now 20 over 18 can be simplified 10 over what? Now, what do you do with 10 over 9? Well, before we do anything, before we do C and D, I want to go to the next page. And I want to talk about making cookies. There we go. I tell you what, I'm so smart. Alright, I want to make some cookies. And to make cookies, I'm going to need 3 cups of milk, 2 cups of flour, 2 eggs, 1 stick of butter, 2 bags of chocolate chips, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And how many cookies does that make? 24. What have we got there? Okay. Well, what if I want to make 48? Where do you get the double from? 48 divided by 24. A lot of people say, well, you multiply 2 times 24. Well, yeah, but actually this is where it comes from. 48 divided by 24 is equal to 2. 2 means double, so we take the 2 and we multiply by everything. Everybody agree? So what if I wanted to make 72 cookies? 72 divided by 24 is 3, so 3 times 3 is 9, 3 times 2 is 6. Y'all get it? This is called a constant. Okay? It's called a constant. It's something called a multiplying constant. It's something that you figure, and then once you figure, you multiply that constant by everything. Everybody with me? What if I wanted to make 103 cookies? You can't divide 103 by 24, so you can't make 103 cookies. Okay, you're an idiot. What do? You put 103 over 24, and then you get 4.3, and you multiply that by the community. Because it's constant. No matter, a constant does not have to be a whole number. Constant can be a fraction or it can be a decimal. Alright? Now the reason I show you this is because some people have no idea what odds against means. Well, that's what it means. Odds against is just a constant. Now, a lot of people get confused with this question. C is a stupid question. You're going to see it in your on tests or homework. What is the odds against? What is the odds against of 1 point? Is the odds? If the odds against is 1.1 or 1 to 1, and you bet $200, what do you take home? You take home $200. Now let me explain that. When you have a 1 to 1 odds against, that means whatever you bet, if you win, you get your bet back. You break even. It's a stupid question. Alright? Nobody is going to bet against 1 to 1. Because you don't what? You don't win anything. Alright? So I really don't care about C. Just remember, if you get one of these questions, if it's 1 to 1, then you just put the same amount that they got. $200. D, what were the odds if you use your odds? 10 to 9. What if you bet $200? What would you take home? Get your calculators out. You're going to need them. What would you take home? That's not rhetorical. I'm asking you. $222.2. I heard mumbling. That's all I heard. 220.2? I thought it was 222.2. 222.2. How did you do it? You take 10 divided by 9 and multiply that through by 200. You take your bet and you multiply it by the constant, which is your odds against. Now, let's take it to the racetrack. Let's say that you bet on silver biscuit. You like silver biscuit because she has white blaze on her face. Okay? But people laugh at you because silver biscuit, I have no idea how to spell biscuit. That's UIT. I don't know if that's right or not. Silver biscuit. Guess what? What does 100 to 1 mean in layman's terms? You suck. Okay? Why don't you bet on it? Because anytime the odds against are high, that means the probability is low that they'll win. But if you win, you're going to make the max money. So what if you put $100 down? Or let's make it simple. What if you put $5 down on silver biscuit? And you win. If silver biscuit wins, you get $500. Multiply 100. 100 over 1 is 100 times whatever. So the higher the odds against, the lower the probability. But if you win, you make a lot of money. You make $495. So you pay $5 win. Okay? So that's how you use odds against. And I guarantee you, some of y'all have gone through 12 years of school and you didn't know that. Okay? That's what it means. But remember, it pays. Do you remember poker machines when they were in South Carolina? Oh my God. They were like crack cocaine and the cigarettes. Or meth, not crack. It was crack, now it's meth. Meth is the drug, the cigarettes is the tobacco industry, as video poker was the gambling. They're all quick fixes. And the whole point of it was that people were putting $300-400 their paychecks into these poker machines, and the kids were running around in diapers around the school while they were playing. I mean, it was bad. Yeah, poker machines. Because you put a quarter in, and you flip it, and if you hit, you might make $100-200 off that quarter. And then they started coming out with the nickel machine. Now, why would they come out with a nickel machine? Because people were playing more. Would they pay out as much? No. Nothing is free. Nothing. People say, "Oh, we got nickel machines." You idiot. They're lowering, they're raising the probability, but lowering the odds again. So what's happening? You're putting more money in than you are with the $5 ticket, fresh off ticket. Yeah, you're going to win all the time. What are you going to win? $5. When you buy a $20 ticket, probability goes down, the odds against goes what? Up. You buy a $20 ticket, if there's such a thing, probability is going to go down, odds against is going to go up. So if you scratch off a $20 ticket, you might get a $20 ticket for $200. But there's going to be less wins than a $10 ticket, and a whole lot less wins than $5. Okay? You know, a lot of people laugh when I say nothing is free. That statement covers a lot of life. Whether it's gambling or whether it's the bank, because the bank's not going to give you anything. Okay? They're not going to give you anything. Oh, they're giving me interest. They're giving you interest, but they're investing your money 3 or 4 times while they have it in the bank. They're making money. They're making $5 off your money, and you're making 50 cents off it. Okay? Nothing's free. I think the only thing that's free is air. Pretty much. That's about it. Huh? Yeah, and it's polluted. Nothing is free. If somebody says free, usually somebody's what? Paying for it. So, silver biscuit wins, and you win $500, and you go out and blow that money. That's what I would do. That's blow money. If you win $500 off $5 bet, that's dang old go out and have a good time. Because you're not going to hit it again. You put $500, you put $5 on silver biscuit again, you're going to lose. That's just the way probability works. Little old lady on 187. Okay? So, now you know what to do with 10 to 9. Let's do another one. Let's find another roulette problem. I'm going to have to go to an old book. Let's see. Where's my roulette wheel? Take it. Remove. Import it. Log in. Let's see. Last semester we had one book. So this semester we have whole. I like the old book. No, I don't use it. I just use the old book, show you all the problems, and use the old problems. Let's see. Get this guy out of the way. Is it? No, I don't want. Oh well, I guess I can't pull it up. Where's the dadgum? I just want this function. No, I gotta do credit card. It'll just take me a minute to get there. I'm sorry. There you go. Alright, y'all do this one. It says blah 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 blah. I ate one donut, and that's about it for me. Well, that been French fries I've been fighting y'all. I'm a salt person, not a sugar person. Now there's 3 or 4 questions. So I want you to do everything that we just did. C is going to be whatever money, and you can just figure up. Go ahead and figure the odds against and figure the probability. And then we'll do C and D together. No yawning in class. probability of winning, or the success probability, is going to be what? Okay, I have to answer this. Okay, so that'd be 30 divided by 15, or 30, I'm sorry, 15 divided by 30, what does that come out to be? Or 32, what does that come out to be? Probability of even would be 15 out of what? 32. Somebody tell me what the hell we don't want to do adjustments. So the probability of failure would be not even, which is equal to what? 17 over 32. And after a while, you're going to say, oh, well then it's going to be 17 to 15. So the odds against, you'll start to see that all you do is take the two numerators and put the bad one over the good one. So 17 to 15. All right, so there's your first two answers, or there's the answers I wanted you to do. Okay, what is the probability of winning? Well, you put in 15 over 32. Then it's going to ask what are the odds against, and you say 17 to 15. And then it's going to ask you if you bet $15 and it's 1 to 1, what's the answer? 15. That's where you see is going to be the exact same as speaking. Okay? Next question. And then this question, now let me explain something to you on this question. This question is not entirely correct. You see what the word they use here? They use the word profit. Now, most of the time when I ask you what the word profit is, what will you tell me? No. That's what I heard. There, thank you. It's enunciated, it's clear, it's loud. Not, okay? The winning, your profit is whatever you get minus whatever you put into it. But with gambling, they don't see profit as what you put into it. They see profit as what the bank is paying you. Because you turned in your money to the bank. You have nothing in your pocket. You see what I'm saying? That's what they consider profit. Me and you and 90% of the population, if you bet $200 on a horse and you win and you bring home $5,000, your profit is $4,800. 90% of the population would agree with you. But with a bank, whether it's in a casino or whether it's wherever, most of the time the banks and the casinos and the tracks or whatever, they see profit as what you win after you bet. That's why I have to explain that to you, because most of y'all will put $5 and 15 cents because you put in $20 or $15. So, but they want the total. They want from what you zero. So somebody take 17 over 15 and multiply it by $15. What do you get? I'm sorry, what? 17. And that's your answer. Do not put $2, even though 90% of you think, okay, well, I made $2 profit. That's not the way the casinos and that's not the way they do it. 17 is your answer. Okay? Make sure you can do a couple of these problems. Okay? Just make it up. Okay? I'll give you one more to copy down. Well, I think that's it. Yeah, that's the only one there is. So I'll give you a couple of those on the test. All right, before y'all explode,